It's hard to describe Akainu as anything but evil, but he doesn't go out of his way to do things like kill puppies or anything. He believes in the power and authority of the Marines and trusts their judgment above all else. However, this also means he opposes anyone who challenges that order very harshly. Akainu has committed many evil acts in the name of the Marines, such as killing hundreds of pirates and destroying entire countries. He doesn't carefully consider the consequences of his actions because he believes he doesn't need to. To him, anything done for the Marines' authority is justified, no matter how extreme. So most of the fans describe him that he follows the law, but as a lawful evil. So what is a lawful evil anyway? Is a term often used in role-playing games, like Dungeons and Dragons. It is described as anyone or anything that follows a strict code, in order and structure, but their actions and intentions are primarily motivated by personal gain, power, or causing harm to others. And here are a few notable popular examples. First, Darth Vader. As a Sith Lord, Darth Vader enforces the Emperor's will with unwavering loyalty, using his power to maintain order through fear and oppression. Second, Magneto. He believes in mutant supremacy and follows a strict personal code. He uses his abilities to protect mutants, often through violent and extreme measures, seeing his actions as justified. And then we have Gustavo, Gus Fring from Breaking Bad. Gus runs his drug empire with strict rules and a calm demeanor. He adheres to a code of conduct in his business dealings, but is ruthless and merciless in eliminating threats. These characters exemplify the lawful evil alignment by combining a strict adherence to rules or personal codes with actions that are ultimately harmful, selfish, or cruel. Let me give you an idea of the key traits of a lawful evil character, which Akainu meets. Number 1. Respect for authority. Akainu is known to strictly follow and impose the order of the higher-ups in the world government. He will get everyone to fall in line through fear. Sakazuki is not charming like Garp or strategic like Sengoku, but he is direct, and that simplicity is often what a soldier wants. Honestly, there are a lot of military leaders just like Akainu in the world who enjoy enormous popularity amongst their men even as things start to get out of hand. Number 2. Manipulative. He knew he could use Squard as the weak link in Whitebeard's crew to trick him into weakening Whitebeard. And then, he even used the example of what he just did to enrage Ace enough to go back and face him when freedom was already within reach, calling Whitebeard a loser for the compassion he showed his traitorous underling. Number 3. Ruthless. As a ruthless Marine, Akainu shows little respect for his subordinates.
A waste of life.
He killed one of his own soldiers?
He is willing to kill his own men if they displease him or to stop another enemy. For example, he killed a Marine who tried to flee from the island of Marineford. Also a friendly reminder that during the O'Hara Buster call, Akainu ordered an attack on a boat with children on it for the sake of true justice. While some fans question if Akainu really fits the description of lawful evil because of the pain and suffering he caused our boy Luffy. But if you think about it, he was just doing his job. No admiral at Marineford would have spared Ace and Luffy. Remember, even Aokiji nearly took out Luffy before Marco intervened. Nonetheless, they don't see him as a typical villain.
サイファーポールあえ話があんたらも頭飛び越えられたんと違いますか天竜人の傀儡に口を慎め杯
From what I've read, Akainu isn't a big fan of the world government or the celestial dragons. However, it is still questionable if he does care about the people living in the world. His methods may be harsh, but there's a reason he wanted to eliminate Ace and Luffy. He saw them as potential sources of rebellion and new piracy. In places like Alabaster, Civil wars can be brutal, causing many deaths even if it's meant to benefit others. While Dragon aims to help people under noble rule, his revolutions often lead to bloodshed. Akainu dislikes this because it results in unnecessary deaths. He may want to enforce laws to end discrimination and suffering, but revolutions can make things worse, as history shows. Roger inspired countless pirates to seek one piece, leading to chaos and harm for the citizens. Ace, resembling his father, could have sparked a new era of piracy, which would be disastrous for ordinary people. While Dragon may help some, his actions also cause deaths. Pirates inspired by figures like Roger only bring more suffering as they pursue treasure without regard for others' well-being. Also, it is the antagonist's job to push the MC hard, and Akainu managed to do something which no antagonist has done before, which is to completely break Luffy's spirit to the point where he couldn't even fight anymore and basically passed out. Therefore, I would say he is a good antagonist. Well, in my opinion, I wouldn't say he's 100% evil. But it's hard to argue that the Fleet Admiral Red Dog isn't a bad guy. In One Piece, the concept of evil is open to interpretation. Someone who views Luffy as good might see Akainu as evil, but both are simply acting based on their own beliefs. It's important to remember that Akainu serves not only the world government, but also the people, as the Marines exist to protect them. On the other hand, Luffy recognizes the flaws of the world government and, although he doesn't aim to dismantle it like the Revolutionary Army does, he isn't afraid to oppose it when necessary. The revolutionaries, the Straw Hats, the Marines, the world government, and even characters like the Celestial Dragons, Roger, Teach, or Akainu all have their roles to play, and none of them are inherently evil. However, depending on one's perspective, they may be seen as such. He's literally one of the most powerful characters in One Piece, and his character design is inspired by the famous Japanese actor Bunta Sugawara, who often played strong and sometimes intimidating Yakuza members in his films. But some fans says he is vastly overrated. There's no way he could compete with any of the Yonko. Is that really possible? Well, only Oda-sensei can say for sure. But if we remember in the Marineford War arc, we can see that Akainu was able to hold his own, even if just a little, against Whitebeard. However, we should remember that at that time, the legendary pirate Whitebeard, known as the strongest man in the world, was already old and suffering from an illness. Add to that the injury he sustained from being backstabbed by Squard. Although Whitebeard was old and sick, he was still a monster, so this goes a long way to showing how powerful Akainu really is. Up to now, we still don't have a clear basis for how strong the current Navy Fleet Admiral really is when he fights at full power, and how he would fare in a one-on-one fight against one of the mighty Yonko of the seas. What do you guys think? Do you see Akainu as a villain who deserves to meet his end, or do you believe his actions are driven by a sense of justice and are ultimately for the well-being of regular people? Let me hear your thoughts on the comment section. Thanks for watching.